tools that can be used to bring almost any idea to life, even in long-standing enterprises that need fundamental adaptation. You don't have to be the CEO of a company to apply these methods. As a matter of fact, you might have an advantage in terms of using these tools and principles if you're not at the top of the organization. If you want to grow your career and facilitate meaningful impact, I suggest you try this wherever you are today. See if you can positively disrupt your organization into a more agile organization, much like General Motors has. Brad Anderson, retired CEO and Chairman of Best Buy. Part 1. Uncovering the Power of Networks. Chapter 1. The Need for Adaptive Space. You've got to disrupt or be disrupted. John Chambers of Cisco. Organizations are under assault. If they don't adapt, they will die. We see this happening all around us. We are in a time of tremendous transformation, unlike anything we have seen in over a century. In this environment, we need to do something that most of us have not been trained to do and our organizations have not been designed for. We must learn to adapt. As John Chambers, Executive Chairman of Cisco, says, if you don't reinvent yourself, change your organization structure. If you don't talk about speed of innovation, you're going to get disrupted, and it'll be a brutal disruption, where the majority of companies will not exist in a meaningful way 10 to 15 years from now. The inability to adapt or to even recognize the need to do so is what brought companies like Blockbuster down. When Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings had the idea to start Netflix, Blockbuster was the major player. Blockbuster had a lock on the market, and its leaders were satisfied with how things were working. But Randolph and Hastings were entrepreneurs. They didn't like that if you wanted to rent a movie, you had to drive to Blockbuster, hope the video you wanted was available, and then rush to return it to avoid exorbitant late fees. Instead, they imagined allowing customers to order a movie online, receive a DVD in the mail, and return it at their convenience, with no late fee. With this idea, they launched Netflix in 1997. Blockbuster responded as many organizations do. It ignored Netflix. Executives continued to focus on their core business and never imagined that it could go away. Even worse, when Reed Hastings flew to Dallas in 1990 to propose a partnership between Blockbuster and Netflix, Blockbuster executives laughed him out of the room. Their CEO, John Antioco, was considered a retail genius, known for his operational acumen and long history of success. His model for Blockbuster was working brilliantly, and he and his team couldn't imagine sharing the brand they had worked so hard to build. In the end, Netflix was the dominant player, and Blockbuster was in bankruptcy. Positively disrupt or be disrupted. Netflix beat Blockbuster for one simple reason: it was agile. Contrary to Blockbuster, Netflix embraced the mantra, "You've got to disrupt or be disrupted." And that meant not only staying ahead of the game, but also changing it. From the beginning, Netflix executives continually read market conditions and showed the willingness to take bold moves. The original idea of a pure rental-by-mail service allowed them to get off the ground, but as demands changed, they changed along with them. Seeing that the pure mail service was having limited success, they morphed to a more radical approach, a subscription-based model. The new approach was launched on September 23, 1999, with a free month trial, and the response was overwhelming. Less than 20% of the subscribers canceled after the trial period, and Netflix grew to 1 million subscribers by 2003. Blockbuster responded with its own online service in 2004, but it was too little too late. Netflix continued to adapt by moving into streaming video in 2007. However, that created new challenges. As Netflix quickly discovered, the cost structures and value propositions for mail versus streaming were creating inefficiencies and a lack of focus. It needed another solution.